The history of the coffee bean dates back almost 700 years. Today, the coffee industry employs more than 25 million people. Coffee is one of the best-selling goods in the world. It is the other black gold. Though for coffee lovers, it is, in fact, the most important one. Our company is guided by our belief that it is amazing what can happen over a cup of coffee. Jacobs Douwe Egberts is a global coffee and tea company serving consumers with iconic brands including Jacobs, Tassimo, Moccona, Senseo, L'Or, Douwe Egberts, Kenco, Hilliao, Gevalia. Our products are available in more than 100 countries around the world. In Russia, JDE's portfolio includes well-known brands much loved by Russians, such as Jacobs, Carte Noir, Tassimo, and Maxim. The company owns a freeze-dried coffee plant near St. Petersburg, one of the largest and most modern production facilities of its type in the world. In 2015, the plant celebrated its 50th anniversary. Let's take a closer look at the plant and the magic process of making coffee. Transforming green coffee beans into a cup of coffee is not a simple task. It begins on the other side of the world, where coffee trees grow and beans are picked. Millions of coffee beans are then transported by hundreds of ships. The beans are capricious and fragile. They are afraid of moisture and heat. At this point, they are still young and green, and they have a bright future ahead of them. Here are some coffee beans. They travel in containers directly from the seaport to the coffee plant near St. Petersburg. These countless beans will now be shaken up, sifted, winnowed, and ventilated. Any foreign objects will be fished out by magnets. The green beans then go for roasting. They are roasted in a continuous stream of hot air at a temperature of 200 degrees Celsius. The freshly roasted coffee beans are cooled before undergoing degassing. Now they go to the mill. The ground coffee needs to be sifted through several screens to ensure that milling is even. The next stage is a very important one: extraction. This is the process whereby, at different temperatures and different pressures, roasted and ground coffee beans are exposed to water. Hot water consistently extracts the whole essence of the coffee, the flavors, nutrients, caffeine, and coffee oil. All of these substances are stored and later returned to the coffee at various stages of production. Now we have obtained a coffee extract. It will soon become a liqueur, using equipment similar to that used to make condensed milk. Here is the coffee liqueur. It will now be made into a kind of coffee ice cream. The coffee liqueur undergoes exactly the same process as ice cream. It is simultaneously cooled and foamed. Our coffee will soon become a substance called coffee ice. At a temperature of -54 degrees Celsius, the coffee is pulled over the conveyor belt. It turns into a thin, very cold plate, the basis for the future coffee granules. The coffee ice is crushed and sieved, and then sieved and crushed again. The small granules are the result of sublimation, or freeze-drying, which involves drying in a vacuum at extremely low temperatures. At this stage, the remaining moisture is released from the coffee granules. But the composition of the coffee is fully preserved, including its magical qualities. The only thing left to do now is to pack up the coffee, label it, and ship it out to the stores. Millions of cups of coffee are almost ready to be poured. Coffee is at the heart of life. It is with us at the big moments and the small. Jacobs Douwe Egberts celebrates life beyond the beverage, putting the coffee cup at the center of the conversation, wherever in the world it takes place. Jacobs Douwe Egberts, a coffee for every cup.